Knightscope Incorporated, Silicon Valley headquarters. The Ivy Group looked out for their best interest and saved millions. More than a commercial real estate broker, the Ivy Group looked out for Knightscope's best interest, negotiated a sublease that saved the client millions of dollars of rent. Summary. This story is about a 15-year relationship that led to the Ivy Group's recent brokerage for the sublease of a commercial property in Silicon Valley for Knightscope Incorporated headquarters. Knightscope Incorporated, NASDAQ, KSCP, is a robotics company specializing in autonomous security robots for public safety, using AI-driven technology to help protect lives, property, and infrastructure. It is a design, R&D, and tech-advanced manufacturer here in the US, providing robots to patrol campuses, malls, hospitals, casinos, and government buildings. Tim V. Tran, CEO of the Ivy Group, a premier commercial real estate brokerage firm in Silicon Valley, holds top commercial realtor designations as CCIM and SIOR after more than 25 years in industrial property sales, purchase, and leasing services. Tim advised and brokered this sublease negotiation for Knightscope and secured a 33,355 square foot space at $2.37 per square foot triple net, with 10 months of free rent valued at more than $790,000. The master landlord, Siemens Medical Solutions, spent $11 million in tenant improvements but never moved in. Upon Tim's advice, Knightscope's initial 100,000 square foot plan was scaled down to 33,355 square feet to better match their current real estate needs and financial capabilities. The deal saved them 30 to 40% off current market rates, totaling $5 million over 5 years. Advise in what's the best interest of the client, more than merely brokering a deal. Initially, Knightscope was thinking of leasing a 100,000 square foot property, believing that they could grow into it. Quote, "In my gut, I didn't believe that space was the right size for them at this time, and I wasn't just going to do a deal just to collect the commission. I'm going to do what's right for their business, because that 100,000 square foot deal, they're going to either succeed wildly or they're going to fail and the company is going to shut down," said Tim. The company grew over the years from leasing 4,000 to 13,000, then to 18,000 square feet of space. Quote, "I know you don't just grow from 18,000 to 100,000 square feet. That doesn't just happen overnight, unless you're Microsoft, Google, or a company that can swallow that cost, or like Siemens, who can spend 11 million on improving a property and never occupied it. Siemens can take those kinds of risks. My client cannot," quote, said Tim. Quote, "It's my job as their real estate advisor to look out for them, more than just get a deal done, get bragging rights, and get paid a commission. I've got to look out for this company so they can be around for another 10 to 20 years," Tim explained. Experience, business savviness, and understanding of the real estate market. Quote, "We must have looked at 20 or 30 buildings, and there was a few that they really liked. And the one that came down to at the end is this 33,355 square feet. That's about a $5 million lease commitment. The base rent, the triple net expenses, all the operating expenses, and the annual increases." Quote, "The other 100,000 square foot building they were initially interested in was bigger, and it was a sublease, and they'd have to commit to 8.5 years. That would have been a $32 million commitment." Quote, "The other 100,000 square foot building they were initially interested in was bigger, and it was a sublease, and they'd have to commit to 8.5 years. That would have been a $32 million commitment." Tim guided the company to assess from the perspective of financial and other commitments, the difference between $5 million and $32 million, time commitment, and the lease rate basis. Even though the 100,000 square foot building was a good deal, and despite the great quality of the property, there is the difference of $27 million between the 8.5 year sublease and the smaller space with a 5-year sublease. Tim also compared to other properties on a price per square foot basis, the lease rate basis. Quote, "We looked at how much money they have to put into the space, to clean it up, to build it out, to get permits, etc. And it would have been $1 million or $500,000. It would have been 12 months dealing with the city. They needed a space where they could literally move in, do something quick, and be in business and keep moving forward," said Tim. Assessing multiple factors for the right fit property for the client's needs. Quote, "We looked at so many buildings. Some of them were like $5 a square foot. Some of them were 2, some of them were 3, some of them were even $1 a square foot." Quote, "I showed them the dollar per square foot property, It's unsafe to even get out of the car in the parking lot. They're going to spend probably $1 million over 12 months to fix this place up. So you don't just take a look at the price per square foot basis. You look at everything, the whole big picture, the parking, what type of landlord you're dealing with. Quote, there's so many factors. We compared all these different properties, putting all the pluses and minuses against each other in an easy, summarized matrix, and let the board and company make their decision, the right decision. With that being said, I also feel like they're going to outgrow the space in about 2 years or 3 years, which is fine. When the time comes, we restart the search to get a second building, quote, Tim stated. Look out for the company, help C-suite make business sense of real estate leasing. Even though Knightscope sales are expected to grow and the employee headcount will likely double, Tim advised them to rent based on the current needs with maybe 10% to 20% growth expectations, as long as they have the adequate space for their current needs for design, manufacture, and a place where investors can meet at their corporate headquarters. Tim continued, quote, we're trying to do what's right for them. I go to a space based on their numbers. Because I've been following this NASDAQ publicly traded company's quarterly and annual reports. I have invested in the company, I'm on their investors' calls, so I know that they're not quite ready to make such a big jump. Knightscope heeded Tim's advice. Tim helped negotiate a great deal, saving millions. Tim offered Knightscope his thoughts. They listened and took a more prudent and realistic approach. Instead of 100,000 square feet, Knightscope decided to be more realistic and subleased a 33,355 square foot property. Tim negotiated really hard for them and got a very spectacular deal. 10 months of free rent. That's unheard of. And the starting rent is about $79,000 per month. 10 months of free rent saves them over $790,000 immediately. Additionally, Siemens Medical Solution is the master landlord. They never moved in. The property sat on the market for maybe 2 to 3 years after they spent $11 million to improve the property. The lease rate for what Siemens is paying is roughly about $4 to $5 square foot triple net. Tim secured it for Knightscope for a starting lease rate of $2.37 per square foot triple net, another huge savings. Tim helped them successfully negotiate their sublease from Siemens 30% to 40% below market rents for similar space. Quote, Siemens is basically subsidizing the rent, quote, said Tim. On top of that, because Knightscope didn't take a bigger bite than they could stomach by leasing a larger property, the lower square footage also saves the unnecessary rent that they can put into research and development, company growth, etc. More than a realtor, taking care of clients above and beyond, recommending contractors and IT services. Quote, this is what we do with all our clients. Walk the client through the process. We help them structure the sublease for a great deal, which earned their CEOs and CFOs confidence in us. They also needed to do some TI, tenant improvement work. So we recommended IT guys that can run the data cable, and we recommended a contractor to come in and redo some of the walls and floor plans, electrical work, etc., Tim continued. Quote, we are more than just an agent. We actually provided additional services like recommending trusted vendors. They went with both our recommended contractors as well. Quote, long-term relationship and partnership based on trust. Quote, we've been working with Knightscope for about 15 years. We started with them when they were just in their infancy. As they grew, they kept coming back to us because of our market knowledge and our trusted advice, quote, said Tim. The Ivy Group has extensive experience working with companies in R&D, design, robotics, advanced manufacturing, hardware, software, AI, supply chain logistics, and distribution in Silicon Valley, Fremont, and the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Ivy Group is regarded as one of the best in commercial and industrial real estate sales, purchases, and leasing. Quote, relationships are everything. We earned our status among the Ivy League of commercial real estate brokerages by always going above and beyond for each and every client. That's our secret sauce, concluded Tim V. Tran with a beaming smile of genuine fulfillment and satisfaction. When you need to sell, buy, or lease a commercial property, the Ivy Group is ready to help you reach your goals with more than 100 years of combined experience and expertise in real estate, investment, technology, and engineering. Contact us with your next real estate needs.